The unexpected twist of kindness. Have you ever stopped to wonder if your kindness, the very thing you pride yourself on, could secretly be holding you back? Like an invisible weight you didn't even know you were carrying? Picture this. You're out there in the world, spreading warmth with every smile, lending a hand to others, feeling like a superhero of goodwill, cape fluttering in the breeze of your good intentions. It's a beautiful role to play, isn't it? But what if beneath that glowing aura, there's a shadow creeping in, a subtle undercurrent that even the ancient Stoics, those wise philosophers of old, warned could turn your best efforts against you? Stick with me, because we were about to peel back the layers and uncover 11 surprising ways kindness can trip you up. Even when your heart is in the right place and your intentions are pure as gold. This isn't about throwing away that generous spirit you hold dear. It's about learning to wield it with wisdom, turning it into a tool that lifts you up rather than drags you down. So grab a comfy spot, maybe a cozy chair or a soft cushion, settle in, and let's dive into this journey together, exploring the hidden corners of a virtue we all cherish. By the end, you'll see kindness in a whole new light. Not as something to fear, but as a force you can master with a little insight and care. Ready? Let's go. Imagine for a moment the times you've gone out of your way staying late to help a friend, offering your last dollar to someone in need, or stepping into a conflict to smooth things over. It feels good, doesn't it? That rush of doing something kind can light up your day. But here's where it gets interesting. What if that same act, done without thought, could quietly sow seeds of trouble for you or for them? The Stoics, with their focus on balance and reason, saw this potential long ago, and their lessons are just as relevant today. They didn't want us to stop being kind. They wanted us to be smart about it. Over the next few minutes, we'll walk through these 11 unexpected pitfalls, things like enabling dependency or burning yourself out. Teach one a chance to rethink how you give. This isn't a lecture, it's a conversation, a chance to reflect on your own experiences. So stay with me, keep an open mind, and let's figure out how to make your kindness work for you, not against you. Are you in? Let's take that first step together. When helping becomes a crutch, imagine a little kid wobbling on a bike, eyes sparkling with determination. Their tiny hands gripping the handlebars as they sway back and forth with every shaky pedal. You ever the protector, the one who can't stand to see them struggle, rush to their side, steadying them at every wobble, making sure no scraped knee or teary moment comes their way. It feels good, doesn't it? That rush of being their safety net, their hero, fills you with warmth and pride. But here's the catch, the part that might make you pause. What if that constant support, as loving as it is, stops them from learning to balance on their own? The Stoic philosopher Seneca, with his timeless wisdom, once said that true help isn't about shielding someone from every fall, it's about giving them the tools to stand up, to find their own footing. If we always catch that child swooping in before they hit the ground, they miss out on the thrill of mastering that wobble. The pure joy of gliding solo and the deep pride that comes with conquering a challenge themselves. This is misplaced kindness in action, a well-intentioned act that can quietly turn us into a crutch, stunting their resilience and keeping them from growing into their own strength. Think about it. By always being there to cushion the blow, we might unintentionally rob them of the chance to build the skills they'll need later in life. Resilience isn't born from a life free of stumbles. It's forged in those moments of uncertainty, or those near falls that teach balance and perseverance. Instead of hovering like a constant guard, picture this. Run alongside them, offering a steady hand when they truly need it, but letting them feel the bumps, the slight tilts, the thrilling freedom of self-propelled mobility. This empowered support isn't just about bike riding, it's a philosophy you can apply anywhere. Maybe it's guiding a friend through a tough project, stepping in with advice, but stepping back to let them figure it out, or mentoring a coworker through a challenging task, providing direction while they navigate the process. Each time, you're building their confidence, sharpening their problem-solving skills, and planting the seeds for independence that will bloom long after you've let go. Next time you feel that urge to swoop in, pause and ask yourself, are you lifting them up, giving them wings to soar, or holding them down, keeping them tethered to your support? It's a subtle shift, but one that can change the course of their growth and yours forever. The trap of enabling dependency. Now, picture a friend teetering on the edge of a financial mess, Their life thrown off balance all because of their own choices, maybe overspending, risky investments, or simply not keeping track of their budget. Your heart aches as you watch them struggle, and the urge to swoop in like a financial savior, ready to bail them out with a quick loan or a generous gift, starts to bubble up inside you. It feels like the right thing to do, a noble act of compassion that could ease their burden in an instant. But hold on for a moment, could that rescue mission, as well-intentioned as it is, do more harm than good in the long run? Marcus Aurelius, the wise Stoic emperor who ruled with both heart and head, taught us that while compassion matters deeply, personal accountability is the key to true growth. He urged us to be merciful yet firm, striking a balance that lifts others without letting them lean too heavily on our support. Bailing your friend out every time they stumble might feel kind in the moment, but it robs them of the chance to learn from their mistake skills, like budgeting, facing tough consequences, or developing the resilience needed to navigate financial challenges on their own. Think about the bigger picture here, by always stepping in to fix their problems. You might unintentionally strip away the opportunity for them to build the strength and wisdom that come from working through difficulties themselves. Financial resilience isn't something that magically appears sits forged in the fire of trial and error, where they learn to prioritize, save, and make smarter choices. True kindness in this scenario takes a different shape. It means offering a listening ear when they need to vent, sharing valuable resources like financial literacy workshops or a good book on money management. But then stepping back to let them take the reins. It's a tightrope to walk, no doubt, requiring you to balance your empathy with a steady hand that encourages rather than enables. Setting those boundaries might feel uncomfortable at first, but it fosters their independence, giving them the space to grow into someone who can stand tall on their own. And here's the beautiful part. Watch them transform. As they gain confidence, sharpen their problem-solving prowess, and master their finances, those skills ripple into every part of their life, relationships, career, and personal fulfillment. Kindness with limits doesn't disable. It empowers, turning a moment of struggle into a stepping stone toward a stronger, more self-reliant future. The dance of honoring boundaries. Ever had a friend spill their heart about a personal struggle, maybe a tough breakup, a family conflict, or a work dilemma, and you, is eager to help, jump in with advice, only to sense them pulling away, their eyes glazing over, or their responses growing shorter? That's the delicate dance of boundaries at play, a subtle interplay between your desire to support and their need for autonomy. Epictetus, that wise Stoic sage, reminded us that while we're all connected in this human tapestry, each person still owns their own space, a personal domain where they navigate their challenges. Rushing in with unsolicited wisdom, even with all the love in your heart, can feel like barging into their home uninvited, well-meaning. Sure, but intrusive all the same. And here's the risk. It might backfire, pushing them further into isolation when you meant to draw them closer, leaving them feeling judged rather than understood. So, what does real kindness look like in these moments? It's less about swooping in with a ready-made solution, and more about listening with grace. Offering a safe space where they can unburden themselves without fear of being fixed. Try asking open-ended questions like, "What do you think might help?" Or "How are you feeling about this?" Spark their own reflection, letting them find their path without you forcing your ideas onto them. It's a gentle nudge, not a shove. Watch for their cause. Do they lean in, their voice softening as they open up? Or do they shut down, crossing their arms or shifting away? Respecting their autonomy, honoring that invisible line they've drawn, builds trust over time, creating a bond that feels supportive rather than suffocating. It's tricky, no doubt, figuring out when to step in and when to hold back, balancing your instinct to help with their need to process. But here's the beauty. Being there, quietly supportive, often speaks loudest, or presence becomes a gift, steady anchor they can rely on without feeling overwhelmed. This approach doesn't just avoid pushing them away, it strengthens your connection, showing you value their journey as much as your desire to assist. It's about trusting them to lead even when they stumble, and being the kind of friend who stands by without taking over. Next time you feel that urge to jump in with advice, pause, take a deep breath, and listen. Let them guide the conversation, and your quiet support, might just be the gift they need to find their way forward. Fostering a relationship built on mutual respect and understanding. The burnout of self-sacrifice. Picture a candle burning bright, its warm glow casting a cozy light around you, filling the room with a sense of peace and comfort. Now imagine that flame starting to flicker, growing weaker and weaker, because you've given its fire to everyone else, lending it to a friend in need. A coworker under pressure, a family member with a crisis while neglecting your own wick, letting it dry out and crumble. That's the hidden cost of self-sacrifice, a noble act that, when taken too far, can leave you hollow and burned out. Musonius Rufus, a thoughtful Stoic thinker, urged us to live in harmony with nature, a philosophy that includes caring for ourselves as much as we care for others. Pouring out kindness endlessly, while ignoring your own needs, skipping meals, losing sleep, pushing past your limits dries you up, leaving resentment and exhaustion in its wake, turning that once joyful giving into a burden you can barely carry. But here's the shift in perspective. Self-care isn't selfish. It's the wellspring of genuine compassion, the fuel that keeps your candle burning strong. When you neglect yourself, you're drawing from an empty well, and that scarcity taints your ability to give with frustration or bitterness. Instead, take time for what fuels you, maybe a quiet walk in the fresh air, a hobby that lights up your soul like painting or gardening, and watch how your capacity to give grows from a place of abundance, not lack. It's like tending a garden. Water your own roots, and the flowers bloom brighter for everyone. Set boundaries when you need to say no with kindness when your plate is full and you'll find it not only protects your energy, but also inspires others to value themselves too. This ripple effect spreads outward, building a community where compassion flows from strength, not sacrifice, where people support each other from a place of fullness rather than depletion. So tend to that inner flame. Make it a priority to recharge, whether through rest, a good book, or a moment of stillness, and let it shine sustainably, illuminating your life and the lives of those around you. When you model this balance, you teach others that caring for oneself is a gift to the world, not a withdrawal from it. It's a quiet revolution, one where your kindness endures, lighting the way for a healthier, more connected circle of people who thrive together. Next time you feel that urge to give until you're empty, pause. Nurture yourself first, and watch how that steady glow transforms everything. The risk of blind trust. What if that warm smile and kind ear you welcomed into your life, the one that made you feel seen and understood, hides a darker intent lurking just beneath the surface? Imagine pouring out your deepest secrets, those vulnerable pieces of your soul you rarely share, only to discover later that they've been weaponized against you. It's turned into ammunition in a game you never signed up to play. That's the hidden danger of blind trust, a trap where your open heart becomes a target. Seneca, the wise Roman philosopher, warned us to approach relationships with discernment, suggesting that kindness shouldn't equate to naivety or a blind leap into someone's arms. Deceivers often cloak themselves in empathy, wearing a mask of compassion to exploit our natural need for connection, that human desire to belong and be cared for. They weave a web of charm, making it hard to see the truth, but true kindness reveals itself in consistent actions, not just smooth words or empty promises. So, how do you protect yourself without closing off? Start by watching for red flags, those little warning signs that might flicker in the back of your mind. Inconsistent stories that don't quite add up, subtle pressure to share more than you're comfortable with, or an overinterest in your vulnerabilities can all be clues. Trust your gut. It's like a quiet alarm, whispering when something feels off, even if you can't put your finger on why. This isn't about becoming cynical, building walls around your heart, or treating everyone with suspicion. It's about cultivating healthy skepticism, a balanced stance that keeps you open to genuine connection while guarding against harm. Take your time with new relationships, ask questions, observe their behavior over time, and let trust be earned through proven reliability rather than handed out like candy. If betrayal stings in, it might leaving wounds that ache grow from it, letting the experience sharpen your judgment, but don't let it harden you completely. Keep your heart open, ready for the real bonds that deserve your trust. This delicate balance serves a dual purpose. It deters manipulators who thrive on unchecked generosity. And it fosters genuine bonds built on mutual respect and authenticity. By moving forward with wisdom, you protect yourself from emotional harm, while still welcoming the kind of real connection that enriches your life. Imagine a community where people approach each other with this clarity. Relationships deepen. Trust flourishes, and kindness becomes a force for good, not a vulnerability to exploit. It's a journey worth taking, one step at a time, as you learn to navigate the world with both compassion and caution. The pitfall of exploited generosity: picture this. You're offering help with an open heart and an open wallet, their gratitude shining in their eyes like a beacon of appreciation, warming you with the thought that you've made a difference. But then, as the days pass, you start to notice something: a subtle shift, a hint that they're angling for more, their requests growing bolder, until you realize your generosity has been exploited. It's exploited generosity at work. A scenario where your good intentions become a target for those who see kindness as an opportunity rather than a gift. Epictetus, the insightful Stoic philosopher, taught us to practice kindness with self-awareness, not gullibility, urging us to stay grounded in our actions. Those who take advantage often spin elaborate tales of need, tugging at your empathy with stories of hardship that might not hold up under scrutiny, pulling you into a cycle of giving that feels more like a trap than a triumph. Real help, the kind that truly lifts someone up, rarely demands persistence or pressure. It flows naturally from a place of mutual understanding. So how do you navigate this? Start by setting boundaries that protect your compassion without shutting it down. Ask questions to clarify their needs. Why do they need this help? And what's their plan moving forward? Instead of handing out cash or resources without thought, offer guidance. Point them toward workshops, or share tools that empower them to solve their own problems. This approach fosters independence, reducing the dependency that can grow when handouts become the norm. Keep an eye out for red flag tales that shift with each telling, attempts to manipulate you into giving more, or a pattern of behavior that feels off. Trust your instincts. They're like a quiet compass, catching what your mind might miss in the heat of the moment, alerting you to potential exploitation before it deepens. If you find yourself exploited, don't let it harden your heart or turn you away from giving. Take it as a lesson, refine your judgment, and keep offering help wisely with eyes wide open. This stance serves a powerful purpose. It discourages freeloaders who prey on unchecked generosity while building a community rooted in mutual respect, where help is given and received with dignity. Generosity paired with intelligence doesn't just uplift the recipient, it leaves a lasting positive impact, creating a cycle of empowerment that benefits everyone. Be compassionate, yes, but be sharp. Your kindness should empower others to stand on their own. It's not enable a reliance that holds them back. It's a delicate balance, but one that transforms your acts of goodwill into a force for lasting change. When motives get misread, ever held a door open for someone, expecting a warm smile or a quick thank you to brighten your day, only to be met with a suspicious glare or a cold shoulder that leaves you second-guessing yourself? That's the sting of misunderstood motives. A moment where your simple act of kindness gets tangled in someone else's perceptions, leaving you with an unexpected twinge of disappointment. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, offered timeless wisdom here, advising us to focus on being good rather than seeking approval from others. People's interpretations of your actions can be shaped by their own biases, past hurts, or unique experiences. Twisting your gesture into something entirely different, like flirtation, a hidden agenda, or even an insult. It's a tough balance to strike, navigating this unpredictable landscape where your intentions might not match their lens. But there's a way through it. Clear communication and consistent actions can bridge that gap, helping others see the heart behind your kindness over time. So, how do you handle it? Start by explaining when needed. Maybe a gentle, "I just wanted to help if the situation calls for it, but Dan." Lean too hard on defending yourself. Let your deeds do the talking, showing your true intent through a pattern of kindness extended to everyone, not just a select few. If someone misreads your offer to carry their bag as something more, keep being your generous self, and the sincerity will shine through. Misunderstandings are bound to happen. They re part of the human experience, so don't retreat into frustration or launch into a heated defense. Instead, see them as chances to grow, to refine how you connect with others. Approach these moments with poise and open dialogue. Listening to their perspective while sharing yours, watch how your character begins to stand out, proving your goodwill beyond a single misinterpreted act. This approach doesn't just smooth over the hiccups. It builds trust and compassion within your community, turning awkward encounters into opportunities for deeper understanding. Kindness at its core is a journey, not a destination, a winding path where sincerity is your compass. As you navigate it with grace, your impact deepens, reaching beyond those fleeting misinterpretations to touch lives in ways that last. Imagine a community where people learn from these bumps, growing closer through honest exchanges and mutual respect. That's the power you hold when you stay true to your intent, letting your actions paint a picture of who you are. So the next time a kind gesture meets an unexpected reaction, take a breath, stay steady, and keep moving forward. Your journey of kindness will only grow richer for it. The peril of unwanted interventions. Imagine you're in the office, the air thick with tension as coworkers argue, their voices rising and their frustration palpable, like a storm brewing in a small space. Your instincts kick and you step in to mediate, eager to smooth things over, only to realize mid-sentence that you've overstepped. Your well-meaning presence, now an unwelcome intrusion in their heated exchange. That's the trap of unwanted interventions, where your desire to help can unintentionally derail the very process you meant to support. Seneca, the wise Roman philosopher, urged us to respect natural processes, suggesting that sometimes the best form of support is simply stepping back and letting things unfold. Jumping into a dispute too soon before all sides have had a chance to air their grievances can stall the resolution, robbing them of the growth that comes from working through conflict on their own terms. It's a delicate moment, one where your eagerness to fix things might unintentionally impose your will, leaving them feeling undermined rather than uplifted. So, what's the better approach? Start by observing. Take a step back and watch, noting the verbal cues like the tone of their voices or the words they choose, alongside the nonverbal signals like crossed arms or averted gazes. This gives you a clearer picture of the dynamics at play without rushing in blind. Instead of offering solutions or taking sides, create a safe space where they can talk it out. Maybe suggest a quiet corner or a moment to cool, off letting them find their own path forward. Intervention works best when it empowers rather than imposes, acting as a gentle guide rather than a forceful director. This approach fosters resilience, allowing them to build problem-solving skills and confidence, while also strengthening the trust within your community bonds. They'll see you as a steady presence, not a meddler, which can deepen relationships over time. The key is to listen closely and offer support without taking over belief in their ability to resolve the issue, even if it gets messy along the way. Your presence alone, a calm and reassuring anchor, can be enough to keep things from spiraling, giving them the space to navigate their challenges with dignity. Kindness here isn't about swooping in to save the day. It's about understanding their need for autonomy, guiding them gently to face difficulties head-on. Next time you feel that urge to jump into a conflict, pause, assess, and let them lead. Your quiet support might just be the strength they need to find their own resolution. The shadow of guilt tripping. What if your help comes with an unspoken "you owe me," quiet expectation that lingers like a shadow over your good deed, turning a moment of generosity into a burden for the recipient? That's guilt tripping, a dark and subtle twist on kindness that can sour even the purest intentions. Epictetus, the insightful Stoic philosopher, taught us that true compassion respects autonomy, valuing the freedom of others rather than binding them to a sense of duty. When your favors carry hidden strings, expecting gratitude, favors in return, or compliance, it can breed resentment, leaving both you and the other person feeling trapped in an unhealthy dynamic. It's a quiet poison that erodes the joy of giving, replacing it with tension and obligation. To catch this in action, watch for signs. Are there conditions attached to your help like I did this for you? So, do they bring up past favors as leverage, using them to nudge you into agreeing? These are red flags that signal a shift from kindness to manipulation. So how do you break free from this cycle? Start by setting firm yet kind boundaries that protect your compassion without shutting it down. When someone offers help with an agenda, thank them graciously for their intent. But decline any obligations that feel forced, perhaps saying, "I appreciate it, but I need to handle this my way." Honor your own needs too, recognizing that your well-being is just as important as theirs. This approach prevents the emotional manipulation scars that can linger, like a bruise on your confidence, and instead fosters healthy connections built on mutual respect. If you've complied in the past, caught up in the guilt trip web, forgive yourself. You're not responsible for others' tactics or the expectations they impose. It's a learning curve, and letting go of that guilt allows you to move forward with clarity. Clear limits don't diminish your kindness. Inspire respect, encouraging a culture where genuine kindness can flourish without coercion. When you support freely, offering help without strings, and set boundaries empathetically, you create space for authentic relationships to grow. This ripples outward, building a community where compassion thrives naturally, free from the weight of unspoken debts. Imagine a circle of people lifting each other up, not out of obligation, but out of a shared desire to connect. That's the power of kindness, done right: supportive, respectful, and unshackled by manipulation. Next time you extend a hand, check your heart. Let it be a gift, not a contract, and watch how it transforms your world. The burden of unrealistic expectations. Holding a door open for someone, expecting a warm thank you or a quick smile to brighten your day, only to be met with a blank stare or a hurried pass by. Disappointing, right? That sting of being ignored can leave you questioning your gesture, wondering if your kindness was even worth it. Marcus Aurelius, the wise Stoic emperor, offered a perspective that can shift this feeling. He reminded us to expect liars and ingrates, people who might not acknowledge our efforts, and urged us to practice kindness for its own sake, not as a transaction awaiting a reward. When you tie your joy to others' responses, hoping for gratitude or recognition, you hand over the reins of your happiness, breeding negativity that festers when those expectations go unmet. It's a trap that can dim your light, turning a simple act into a source of frustration. Instead, let go of that need for reciprocation. Give freely, embracing the inherent value of the act itself, the quiet satisfaction that comes from doing good without strings attached. Consider this. That person who brushed past might be lost in their own struggle. Maybe they were rushing to a loved one in crisis or battling a heavy heart. Your gesture, though unnoticed, might still lift them in some small, unseen way. A ripple of warmth they carry forward without realizing its source. The key is to cultivate gratitude within yourself, not for their reaction, but for your choice to be kind. To step into the world with an open heart. This inner peace becomes a powerful force. It motivates others, inspiring them to pay it forward, creating a positive chain reaction that spreads compassion further than you might imagine. Picture a community where people give without expecting applause, where small acts build a more caring world, one unselfish moment at a time. Releasing those expectations frees you to focus on the joy of giving, the pure delight that comes from being true to your values. Letting your kindness shine brightly, independent of any return. So, the next time you hold that door or offer a hand, release the hope for a thank you. Embrace the act for what it is, a gift to the world, and let that gratitude fuel you. Watch how this shift transforms your experience, turning potential disappointment into a steady source of strength. Your kindness, unshackled by the need for approval, becomes a beacon, lighting the way for others to follow, building a legacy of compassion that thrives on its own terms. Navigating cultural dissonance. Imagine sharing a homemade dish, perhaps a family recipe filled with love and tradition, only to be met with reluctance or even a hesitant refusal that leaves you puzzled. That moment highlights how cultural dissonance can turn kindness awry, where a gesture meant to connect can unintentionally create a rift due to differing norms and values. Seneca, the insightful Roman philosopher, viewed us all as fellow travelers on life's journey, sharing the same path, yet carrying unique cultural baggage. He urged cultural sensitivity, suggesting that our compassion should adapt to the diverse ways people express and receive it. What feels like a warm offering in one culture, a handshake, a hug, or a shared meal, might offend in another. Where a bow, a nod, or a specific ritual holds greater meaning. Compassion isn't a one-size-fits-all language. It varies widely, shaped by traditions, beliefs, and unspoken rules that guide human interaction across the globe. So how do you navigate this complex terrain? Start by taking the time to learn about local customs, whether you revisiting a new place or welcoming someone from a different background into your space. Ask permission before offering food, extending a hand, or even taking a photo, showing respect for their boundaries. Stay open, letting curiosity guide you rather than assumptions, and listen to the stories behind their practices. Missteps are inevitable. Maybe your enthusiastic gift is met with silence, or a well-meant gesture causes discomfort, but that's part of the journey. When it happens, apologize sincerely. Take it as a chance to learn and grow from the experience, turning an awkward moment into a stepping stone for understanding. This respect doesn't just smooth over misunderstandings. It builds bridges, fostering deep connections that transcend cultural divides and create a sense of shared humanity. Kindness with awareness becomes a powerful tool, honoring the diversity that makes our world rich and vibrant. It's not about erasing your own identity, but weaving it into a tapestry that includes others' perspectives, enriching your own life in the process. Imagine a world where every act of compassion is tailored with care, where a simple meal shared becomes a celebration of mutual respect rather than a source of tension. Embrace this journey with an open heart and watch your acts of compassion flourish across cultures, planting seeds of connection that grow into lasting bonds. The Stoic path forward isn't a call to abandon kindness, to lock away that generous spirit that defines so much of who you are. It's about wielding it with the timeless Stoic wisdom that can guide you through life's complexities. We've explored the shadows that can creep in, the unintended consequences that might dim your good intentions. But here's the empowering truth. By becoming aware of these potential pitfalls, you gain the clarity to navigate them with confidence. Each challenge, whether it's overprotecting a loved one or misreading a cultural cue, becomes a chance to grow, stepping stone to refine your approach and deepen your understanding. The Stoics didn't want us to stop caring. They wanted us to care smarter, balancing compassion with discernment to ensure our kindness lifts rather than burdens. It's a shift in perspective, a way to transform those moments of doubt into opportunities for personal evolution, strengthening not just yourself, but the connections around you. So, set forth on this journey with a renewed sense of purpose, carrying both your heart and your head into every act of goodwill. Picture yourself moving through the world with a steady gait, offering help with an open hand but a clear mind, knowing when to step in and when to step back. This balance isn't easy. It takes practice, patience, and a willingness to learn, but it's worth it. As you apply this wisdom, you create a world where kindness lifts all, a community where people support each other from a place of strength and respect, not obligation or misunderstanding. Imagine the ripple effect. Your thoughtful generosity inspires others to follow suit, building a cycle of compassion that elevates everyone involved. It's not about perfection. It's about progress, about choosing to act with intention rather than impulse. Your journey starts now, in this very moment, with the next kind act you choose to offer. Take that first step wisely. Pause to consider your intent, assess the situation, and let your light shine in a way that's sustainable and true. Whether it's a smile to a stranger, a helping hand to a friend, or a moment of understanding across cultures, let it reflect this newfound clarity. Your light doesn't have to burn out. It can glow steadily, illuminating your path and those around you, turning every act into a beacon of hope. Embrace this Stoic approach and watch how your kindness becomes a force for good, shaping a brighter, more connected world with every thoughtful step you take.